Now, ladies and gentlemen, health and wellness is one of the most challenging issues of the day. It goes without saying that here in Jamaica and across the world, the health bill of various countries is one of the largest bills that governments are carrying today, right? And that has to do with, a little bit of irresponsibility on our part, particularly as men. Men seem to be a little bit more risk takers than the females when it comes on to healthcare. In other words, men, what I'm saying is that we are really not taking care of ourselves as we really ought to. And so a forum like this has become necessary to help you to understand the importance of your health, not just to yourself, but to your family, your community, and of course, your country. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are here this evening and you may even be reflecting at this point in time. And someone, as we throw out the information and we have the discussion, you are going to be reflecting on somebody that you would have known who would have succumbed to one of these challenges. Yes, and in your mind, you're going to be saying, what if you were cognizant of this information prior to? You know what I mean? So I want to thank you all again for being here. Really appreciative of your effort. And of course, this evening, we hope that you will leave here better than you actually came. Now, ladies and gentlemen, many men across the world today are struggling with various issues. Some of the most, prominent issues that men are faced with today comes to us in the form of low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, weight gain, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, prostate cancer, high cholesterol, and of course, the issue of, the high care. Loads of men, you're on this presentation this evening, I'm sure you can identify with these conditions, some way or the other, whether yourself or someone that you know who is being afflicted with one of these challenges. Yes? According to research conducted, these are the primary issues that men are faced with today in terms of their health. And so this evening, we want to delve into these things and see how we can help you to live your best lives. Now, let us look at cancers. Did you know that approximately 2.21 million cases of lung cancer would have been diagnosed in the year 2020 alone? Did you know that approximately 1.1 million cases of stomach cancers would have been diagnosed in 2020 alone? Did you know that approximately 1.2 million cases of colon and rectum cancers would have been diagnosed in the year 2020 alone? Yes. Did you know that approximately 1.5 million, let me round it off, cases of prostate cancer would have been diagnosed in 2020 alone? Ladies and gentlemen, these are some alarming statistics. Now, with the issue of prostate cancer, what we have come to recognize is that this is a rather troubling issue for men globally, but particularly men within the Caribbean and even more so to men in Jamaica, because it seems as if men in Jamaica, have a greater propensity to prostate cancer than men globally. In fact, according to research, coming out of the World Health Organization, of every 100,000 cases of prostate cancer that would have been diagnosed annually, 304 of that comes from right here in Jamaica. How alarming is that? It's very alarming, because what they are saying is that in terms of a geographical location, in terms of a country, in terms of a nation, this is the highest globally. That's cause for concern, men. What do you think? Isn't that cause for concern? Who do you know? Which father, which uncle, which grandfather, which son do you know today that is currently being afflicted with particularly prostate cancer? That seemed to be, a worry among Black men, but particularly Jamaican men. Did you know that cardiovascular diseases are the leading causes of death globally? Are you aware of that, men? That cardiovascular diseases are just taking lives left, right, and center on a daily basis globally? In fact, according to the World Health Organization, 17.9 million people would have succumbed to some form of cardiovascular diseases in the year 2019. Yes, and of course, you know that 2019 leading into 2020, the number of persons who would have been afflicted, with the COVID virus, and of course, cardiovascular diseases, they would have estimated would have been an underlying issue, which would have led to many more persons succumbing to this challenge in the year 2020, 2021, etc. Those statistics are going to be severely alarming because of the COVID virus. But that's what is happening. Now, 4 out of every 5 cases, or death rather, that are cardiovascularly related are due primarily to strokes and heart attack. How alarming is that? Does that resonate with you? Does that ring a bell? Do you know somebody at this point in time? Do you know a male who would have been, seriously affected, whether he is currently, struggling with a stroke, right? Or he would have had an heart attack and, worst case scenario, not here with us because of poor cardiovascular health? Well, let us delve into this a little more. You see, ladies and gentlemen, some major causes of cardiovascular diseases, particularly as it has to do with heart disease and stroke, has to do with our lifestyle. You see, these things are really lifestyle diseases. Are you aware of that? If you were aware of that before the conversation started, drop the number 7 in the chat. If you were aware of cardiovascular diseases, particularly heart disease and stroke, being as a result of your lifestyle, drop the number 7 in the chat if that is the case. Yes? Are you aware that these things are as a result of the actions you take or the actions you don't take? Well, can I tell you? They are. Because one of the primary reasons for heart disease and stroke comes down to unhealthy diets. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to talk to our men today in a very frank way. You see, gentlemen, many of us are eating ourselves to death. And that's a matter of fact, many of us are too inactive as men, right? And some of us are very big on the tobacco, the marijuana, smoking. In cases where we're abusing these things, right? And then you have the dreaded alcohol, abuse that is combining to cause the heart disease and the strokes. Gentlemen, we have to do better. We have to start eating a lot better, a lot smarter. For example, are you consuming a balanced diet? What proportion of your diet is starch as opposed to that which is protein, vegetables, right? What proportion of your diet is, what would you say? Give me a ratio in the chat. Are you having 90% starch and 5% protein and 5%, vitamins and minerals? Is that the case? Is that where you are? Well, if you are in that position, and you're not a construction worker, you're not an athlete, then it means that you're in trouble because you're consuming too much starch. And of course, that in itself is lining you up very nicely for a stroke or some type of heart disease. These things are expensive, and you don't want to put yourself in that situation, gentlemen. So we have to eat better. We have to be physically, a lot more active. One of the things that is hurting a lot of men that I have seen in recent times would have been the fact that they are sedentary workers. Several of our men in, directorial positions, managerial positions, you sit for 8 hours and you are all into these meetings, but you have no time to eat properly. You have no time to exercise. And that in itself is a challenge for you. Now, here is where the rubber, they say, meets the green. When you are consuming food poorly, when you are inactive, gentlemen, when you're abusing tobacco, when you're abusing alcohol, then the probability of you having raised blood sugar levels becomes a little higher. The probability of you having raised lipid levels becomes a little higher. The raised blood pressure becomes higher. Overweight and obesity becomes a lot more higher. What is raised blood glucose level? We're talking about diabetes. Diabetes, we're going to talk about it some more as we go along, but the World Health Organization has indicated that coronavirus is a joke to what diabetes is doing to the world. In fact, the epidemic of the 21st century has been declared to be diabetes. Who do you know today? Drop it in the chat. Just say me. Who do you know that is currently struggling with diabetes? If you know someone, just put the number 1 in the chat if you know somebody with diabetes. If you know somebody with high blood pressure, put the number 2 in the chat. If you know somebody who has high cholesterol or high triglycerides, put the number 3 in the chat. And if you know somebody, a male or a female, that is overweight or obese, drop the number 4 in the chat. These are the challenges, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what now comes to lead to the challenge of you having the heart disease and, of course, the strokes. These things are lifestyle diseases. These are things that happens as a result of your actions or your inactions. Now, here is another challenge that is really stressing out men all across the world. This challenge of erectile dysfunction. Now, erectile dysfunction, men, in case you're not aware, is your inability to, number 1, get, or number 2, maintain an erection during sex. That's what erectile dysfunction is. This tends to affect men that are middle-aged more than any other group of men, right? According to the Cleveland Clinic in the US, they say 1 in 10 men are estimated to struggle with this problem of erectile dysfunction. But let's look at it some more. You see, some of the causes of the erectile dysfunction happens to be that of, low testosterone levels. If your testosterone levels are low, then your ability to get and to maintain an erection is going to be limited. Also, heart diseases, because remember now, this has to do with blood getting to that particular organ. And if your blood pressure is high, yes, if your arteries are clogged, then the blood will not be able to get to where it ought to in order for you to have that rigid, firm erection. So the gentleman that is obese must struggle at some point in time. The gentleman that is overweight will struggle at some point in time. The gentleman who has high blood pressure will struggle at some point in time. But can I tell you, the gentleman that is going to struggle the most is the man that is diabetic. You see, we told you earlier that diabetes has become, yes, according to the World Health Organization, the epidemic of the 21st century. right? It affects you in so many different ways. When you're a diabetic man, these are the things that will happen. One, we just told you, impotence and erectile dysfunction will be a part of your life. You just have to just tell yourself that that is going to be a part of your life, right? There's no getting around it. Number two, blindness. Blindness is usually, a very close cousin of diabetes, right? Kidney problems. No wonder you go to the clinics, and when you get there, a friend of mine told me the other day that she has a kidney problem where she's on dialysis, and she has to go to the clinic 3 times per week. And for each visit, it's 15,000 Jamaican dollars, and she has to go 3 times every week. That's $45,000 per week. That is what she has to be finding in order to fix that problem. When I investigate a little more, she told me she has been diabetic all her life. Come, gentlemen, can we do better? Yes, we can. If you want to be able to be that dad, that super dad, that boss, that lover, that friend, to your family, then of course you have to take care of your health. Do you know somebody today that is struggling with this problem of erectile dysfunction? Don't put anything in the chat. I don't want to know who the person is, right? But we know that these things are happening because we hear them every single day. Now, so terrible is diabetes, right? That approximately 422 million people globally are currently struggling with diabetes. And guess what happened? These people are primarily within the low and middle income category. You see, one of the things that I've come to recognize, ladies and gentlemen, is that we tend to give more to our jobs, and I'm talking about 9-to-5s now. When you are working for somebody, you tend to want to give so much to that job that oftentimes what you do is give little or nothing to yourself. And at the end of the day, you end up in the health quagmire. And then as the minute you are no longer here, somebody else replaces you at work. You have got to take care of yourself. You have got to invest in your health because your health is your responsibility. Type 2 diabetes is that challenge. Yes. And type 2 diabetes happens when there is an overproduction of insulin in your system. You are the cause of it. Why? Because you constantly fill your system with starch and sugars. And when they get into your body and they are converted to glucose, insulin has to be produced in order to flush that out of the system. And an overproduction of insulin is what leads to type 2 diabetes. Ask your doctor and they will tell you, is there a better way? Yes, there is a better way, because I'm going to show you at this point in time somebody who was in your position. You see, the gentleman that is on your screen right now is Mr. Armand Puyol. Mr. Puyol was diabetic. He was so obese that he was close to 400 pounds. He was weighing like 395. But not just that, gentleman, he was also hypertensive. He had high cholesterol. His triglyceride was sky high. The worst of the challenges that he faced is that he was diagnosed with stage 4 gastric cancer. Yes, stage 4 gastric cancer. This man was on the verge of death. In fact, when he visited with his doctors, they told him, Armand Puyol, I give you 6 months in order to live. You know what I mean? 6 months he had. However, his fiancée, who later became his wife, Dr. Esther Ramos, decided that Mr. Puyol had a lot more to contribute to the society, and so she would not have him just go like that. What did she do? She went over to Asia, and she had conversations with some of the top herbalists within that part of the world. They would have recommended to her 3 organic mushrooms. They are the reishi, the chaga, and the cordyceps. She took as much as she could. She returned to the States, and daily she fed Mr. Puyol the mushrooms. Well, can I tell you, 6 months later, he was still alive. His doctors were literally flabbergasted to see that 6 months after they had given him over unto death, that he was still alive. Yes? Well, what happened? 11 years and counting. Not only is Mr. Puyol alive, but Mr. Puyol is diabetic free, he's hypertensive free, he has no high cholesterol, no high triglycerides, and he has defeated stage 4 stomach cancer. How cool is that? All because he decided through his wife, Dr. Esther Ramos, to integrate in his daily diet these 3 organic mushrooms, in addition to proper nutrition, rest, and of course, exercise. The gentleman is now weighing just over 160 pounds. How cool is that? That's what we're talking about. Now, what is it about these mushrooms that would have caused a man that was on the verge of death to be alive today and is now sharing these mushrooms with us? Well, let us look at them individually. You see, the reishi, scientifically known as the Ganoderma lucidium, this particular mushroom, ladies and gentlemen, is known in the field of alternative medicine to regulate normal body function. So think about it for a minute. Anything in your system that is unusual, that is abnormal, according to the research that has been done on this particular mushroom, it is said to regulate your normal body function, right? It boosts your immune system. Why? Because it has in excess of 200 phytonutrients and over 150 antioxidants. How cool is that? As a result of that, it lowers and manages your blood pressure, manages your cholesterol. Yes, of course, it improves the liver function. And of course, we said earlier, it is inundated with antioxidants. Who do you know this evening that could benefit from this particular mushroom? This mushroom, they say, fights every type of cancer known to man. I see men use it, I see women use it, and the testimony are simply amazing. Now, these are capsules, right? The Gano here is available to you in capsule form, but we also have it in powder form. So if you are that guy or girl who does not like capsules, you can't swallow them, then we have the reishi extract available in powder form, where you can pour this into your beverage, whatever beverage you like to consume that is nutritious, yes? So if you're a smoothie guy, if you're a coffee guy, if you're just a guy who likes to, deal to blend up and drink, then you have to get this reishi to add to it so that, of course, your body can function normally, right? This is, they say, is the great protector of the human body. All across the world, if you do your research, you will see people talking about this amazing Ganoderma lucidium. The second of the 2 mushrooms that Mr. Puyol would have used would have been the chaga. Now, the chaga, ladies and gentlemen, is said to be the king of all medicinal mushrooms, right? It is very high in vitamins and minerals. I'm talking about the vitamin B's. I'm talking about the vitamin D. I'm talking about the vitamin B17 that is very, very effective against, in fighting against cancer. About, the zinc that you need, men, in order to support your prostate. Yes, all of these nutrients can be found in this particular mushroom. It slows the aging process. Yes, it fights inflammation, lowers the cholesterol, they say, lowers your blood sugar, and of course, it's very, very big on fighting and preventing cancers from developing in the body. And of course, it also boosts the immune system. Again, this is capsule. So if you're not a capsule person and you want to have the extract where you can pour, in and utilize in your beverages, or whatever it is that you drink, then of course, you have it here again in extract form. If you know somebody who can benefit from these mushrooms, do not hesitate, because delay, they say, is danger. The third of the lot would be the cordy, and this is cordyceps. Now, the cordyceps is said to boost exercise performances, right? Of course, it contains the adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which of course is essential for delivering energy to the muscles. So if you know somebody who exercises a lot or, desire to exercise, but the energy is not there, right? And of course, they want to be able to do so. An athlete, peradventure an athlete, right? Somebody who is in the gym and they're not having that boost of energy, then this is something you could also recommend. But while it is very effective in that regard, the thing that people love most about it is the fact that it supports heart health. Oh my goodness gracious me. The research is out there. You will just go and you will check and you will see what's happening. The research is big on this mushroom supporting heart health. In fact, let me share a story with you. A young lady that I know very well lives in the States. And when she was being afflicted with COVID to the point where she was on oxygen and they couldn't find enough oxygen for her, her mom called and said, listen, what do you have in the catalog that we could provide her with? I said, get yourself a Cardi. She did that. And can I tell you, 2 days later, the lady was off the oxygen. Why? Because this particular mushroom, ladies and gentlemen, increases the oxygen uptake within the human body. Not making medical claims, just telling you what our experiences are, right? So it supports the normal function of the respiratory system. And of course, it also helps your body to fight free radicals. Very, very, very powerful mushroom. Of course, this is capsule. If you are that individual who doesn't like pills and you want to have the powder, which here comes in the extract form, then that too is available. Now, those would have been the 3 mushrooms used by Mr. Armand Puyol to combat his stage 4 gastric cancer, to lower and is now managing his diabetes, his hypertension, his high cholesterol, etc., etc., etc. If you are enjoying this presentation, if I am providing value to your life, I would like for you to drop the number 7 in the chat. I don't like when I'm just talking to myself. So if you believe that I'm adding value to your life and the lives of those persons that you're going to convey this information to, drop the number 7 in the chat. Please, I beg of you. Thank you very much. I see them coming. So I'm adding value, Reverend. Thank you, sir. Now, interestingly, ladies and gentlemen, here at Vida Divina, our philosophy is that if you're going to be utilizing any of our supplements to help to improve the overall quality of your life, then we recommend that you do something first. What is it that we recommend that you do? We recommend that you have a comprehensive detoxification of your system. Now, you may be asking me, Chris, why should I be detoxifying my body? Well, first and foremost, what research has been revealing recently is that toxic overload is a major contributor to many of the diseases that are currently plaguing the human body. In fact, research has indicated that approximately 70 to 95% of all lifestyle-related challenges emanate from an unclean colon. What does that mean? It means that as a human being, and you're going to hear a testimony from somebody this evening who will literally amplify the point that I'm making right now, where the system is of such that if, number one, you're not excreting the waste matters from the system, toxins. Yes? If the body is retaining things that it ought not to retain, high levels of toxins. And so with that comes the lifestyle challenges, the cancers, the diabetes, the hypertension, all of these things as a result of that. And so what we have here for you this evening is actually a product designed, formulated by our lead formulator, Dr. Esther Remas, the said gentleman who would have gone, the said lady rather, would have gone to Asia, yes, access the Ganoderma, access the Chaga, access the Cordyceps, brought it back to the States, provided daily to Mr. Armand Puyol, and he's now alive, is the same lady who is saying to you that before you actually use any of these things, it makes sense you cleanse the body. In other words, you are preparing your system to receive quality, high quality nutrients. And so what this particular tea will do for you, detoxify the liver, detoxify the kidneys, detoxify the colon, and most importantly, the detoxification of your arteries. That's very, very important, because with the arteries being inundated with all those fat that you've been carrying for years, that is now there as plaque, it prevents so many things from happening normally in your body. It prevents you from breathing properly. It prevents you from having your blood being circulated properly. It prevents your heart from pumping the way it was designed to do. And so therefore, the only way to have it done naturally is to have a comprehensive cleansing of the arteries. If I'm dropping value, drop the number 7 in the chat. And so this tea, ladies and gentlemen, many people call it the miracle tea. Many people say it's magic, but we simply here at Via Divina call it the Tedavina detox tea. This tea, people who are using it are saying that, look, they did not know that parasites were still lodged in their systems as adults. In fact, one individual recently passed out a worm with hair on the worm. Think about that for a minute. You have worms in a system with hair on it. Where did that come from? One man said, look, when he saw the worm, he literally thought it was a snake. He almost ran. That's what we're talking about. But it gets worse than that, because the people who are utilizing this particular tea are saying to us that not only are they passing on the parasites, but the type of fecal matters that they see being excreted, they did not know that those things were lodged in their colons. But that's what we have been saying to people for years, that if you don't cleanse the colon, then this is what is going to happen. So what we have, people with diabetes, no longer diabetic. People with hypertension, no longer having that challenge. People with high stomachs, seeing them being reduced significantly. Women, painful period, menstrual cramps, not having them anymore. Women struggling to become pregnant are now pregnant. That's what we're talking about, not making medical claims. I am only telling you what my experience has been here on this platform. Now, get yourself this tea. I normally recommend that you start with 6 sachets of this tea, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it makes sense that you do this for 6 consecutive weeks to have a comprehensive detoxification of the colon, of the liver, of the kidneys, and of course the arteries. All right. Now, here it gets better, because in addition to those products that we spoke about before, we also have this interesting product called a turkey tail. Now, the turkey tail is a revelation in healthcare at this point in time. Why is it so? Because it is one of those mushrooms, again, that is very high in antioxidants, very, very strong in that particular area, right? It also enhances the gut health. What are we talking about? Now, you know that your body needs probiotics, right? But for you to have probiotics, you need to have the prebiotics. And sometimes we do some things to our bodies, yes, based on how we eat or don't eat, which destroy the good, the good things in our system, right? And so we need to replace them. What this does is that it enhances that, ladies and gentlemen. Interestingly, what we have found is that a lot of persons as well who are currently being treated for various types of cancers, yes, this particular mushroom is now said to enhance the efficacy of those treatments. In other words, it has value. So what was difficult now becomes a little easier to assimilate within the system. And so we see a lot of persons with all different types of cancers are now turning to the turkey tail for that particular reason. In fact, the FDA has recognized the essence of this particular mushroom to the extent where they are now doing research on it to look more deeper into its benefits. Another of our revelation here at Via Divina would be the Mars. And I want you as a man this evening to appreciate this information. Why? Because the truth is, the older we get as men is the more we struggle with testosterone, is the more we struggle with things like erectile dysfunction. We spoke about that earlier. Now, once you would have cleansed your system with the Tedavina detox tea, then you are now in a good place to actually receive the Mars. Now, loads of men out there are not maintaining erections. In fact, many men out there currently are not able to have erections. We are here telling you today that instead of turning to those negative diabolical things that they have on the market that is really creating problems in men's lives. So many men would have taken these things, gone to a nice resort with a nice young lady. And by the time the young lady look around, the apparatus is very strong and firm, but the man is dead. Imagine that. You take a young lady to a resort and you expect to have a good time. When you get there, the apparatus is ready, but you are dead. It happens so many times, right? If I'm talking the truth, ladies and gentlemen, drop the number 7 in the chat if what I'm saying is true. So here is it now. At Via Divina, we would have thought about you in that regard. And we know that you need this type of help. So what have we done? We have an all-natural alternative to that type of problem, right? And so what you have here is a product that is enriched with the tomcat alley, enriched with the horny goatweed, the reishi, and all these great mushrooms to help you to have that same powerful effect without the negative side effects of heart disease or stroke or any of those things, right? So you must get yourself a bottle of these today. While this particular part of it is interesting, the part that most men have found rather, appreciative of this particular mushroom is the fact that it supports a healthy prostate. Are you at that age, men, where you're having an enlarged prostate? Well, can I tell you, this particular mushroom, when twinned with the Ganoderma lucidium or the Chaga mushroom, along and the Tedevina detox tea, is helping men all across the world to see a reduction in the size of their prostate. Here is a testimony from a gentleman who he went to the doctor and the doctor said, listen, your prostate enlargement test is 4.5. Yes, he would have visited an affiliate. The affiliate said, okay, let me provide you with a sugar. Let me provide you with 60s. Let me give you as well the Mars. 1 month after, guys, the man's prostate enlargement test revealed that there was a reduction of 1.12. How cool is that? That's what we're talking about here at Via Divina. Drop the number 7 in the chat if you know that what I'm saying is so, because you're going to hear the testimonies later. And men are coming to tell you as to how this thing is helping them to improve the overall quality of their lives. Then, of course, we have those men now who are struggling with vision problems. Yes? And this as well could be as a result of diabetes. It could be as a result of so many other things, but we know that diabetes is one of the fundamental issues that cause blindness, right? Gentlemen, if you're struggling with a eye problem right now, get yourself aside. Why? Because we're talking about something here that is is actually a revelation. Why is it a revelation? Because your eyes requires a certain amount of vitamin A. This product provides you all that vitamin A, and it also ensures that every single fiber and nerve in your eye is protected in such a way that you are able to use your vision naturally. Get yourself a bottle today. The testimonies are coming. Then we have the brain, because, as men age, then, of course, the mental faculty tend to depreciate, especially if you're not very high in terms of your exercises, if you're not very high in terms of your balanced diet, right? And so here we have a product called the brain that is very rich in the ginkgo biloba, right? It provides all the vitamins and, minerals that you need for the brain. So if you're forgetting things, if you're not focusing, if you're dropping off that particular thing very quick, because of lack of concentration, then guess what happened, guys? Get yourself a brain. Again, if you don't like the capsules, we also have here another version of it, which is called lion's mane. Now, the lion's mane is much more powerful than the brain, and I'm going to tell you why. It protects, ladies and gentlemen, against dementia. Of course, dementia comes in a variety of forms. It could be Alzheimer's, right? It could be Parkinson's, and so on and so on and so on. It protects against that. So if you are that guy that is serious about your mental faculties, then you have to get yourself a bottle of this. It also helps to relieve the symptoms of depression and anxiety. Yes, men, you and I know the importance of men not being too anxious, because that can be detrimental to your home, right? It also helps to recover, speed up recovery rather, from nervous system injuries. let's say you're a footballer, for example, and you constantly head that ball, you know what I mean? You know what can happen, a concussion, right? Or you're in an accident and, you hit your head or something like that. This may help you to improve very fast. Interestingly as well, it also protects against ulcers, yes? And of course, the digestive tract. So here's a product that has a multiplicity of benefits to the human body, right? It also helps to reduce the risk of heart disease. Also, for our men who are struggling with cardiovascular issues, particularly strokes, particularly, heart disease, right? And then, of course, you have your overweight or you're obese, then you have to lose that weight. You have to lose that weight, gentlemen. It doesn't matter what it takes. You have to lose the weight, right? And we are pleased at Vida Divina to be able to share with you this evening a line of products that are designed to help you to lose that weight. Here we have the 8CG. Now, the 8CG is that particular product, yes, that triggers the hypothalamus. And in so doing, it releases and mobilizes all the abnormal fats, the extra fats that you're carrying in the system, and converts it into energy. With that, I am telling you, from my own experience now, I can tell you, you will lose between 1 and 2 pounds daily. You see, I went into the gym, gentlemen, in January, and my instructor looked at me and said, Chris, at 190, you're not going to build no muscles, man. You need to be about 230. So, of course, I went on a drive to get myself to 230. I got there, but I also noticed that while I was getting there, while I was working out, because of the amount of foods I was consuming, I was putting on a little thing on my tummy here. I didn't like it because I'm a health and wellness coach and I must look good. So while the muscles are looking strong and sturdy, I see myself kind of getting bulky at the stomach level there. What I did, I got myself an 8CG. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2 weeks, I lost a total of 15 pounds. My instructor was like, Chris, how did you do that? What is it that you used? And I told him, he said, all right, tell you what, I have 10 people that you must get this thing to. That's the power of the 8CG. But it gets better. We also have the Life. Now, the Life is that capsule that literally speaks to the leptin in your brain. It says, listen, Dr. Ennis, you are overeating. You should not be eating so much food. And so what it does, it reduces your appetite, curb your appetite, and causes you to actually eat less. While it's doing that, it's also increasing your metabolism and cause you to be burning those extra fats. Then we have the Atom for those people who are lethargic. Yes, you know that I'm talking to you. You are that lethargic person who, whenever you go to the gym, you can't even work out, because you don't have the energy. The Atom capsule will provide you, ladies and gentlemen, take my word for it on this one. I'm not making medical claim, but I'm telling you my experience and others' experience. You're looking at 8 solid hours of energy in that particular product. Also, sleep and lose. A lot of people, they gain weight as well because of the fact that they struggle with insomnia and many other sleep disorders. This product here contains melatonin that, look, when you take it and put it on the pillow, it's good night, mama, because you ain't waking up until in the morning, right? And of course, we also carry a meal replacement shake. Now, why I'm excited about this is because when my coach told me I needed to increase my body mass in terms of the amount of protein that I need in my body, I got myself a lean protein shake. When I did, I realized that's what gave me that 30 pounds in such a short space of time, right? Now, the protein shake that we're talking about here, the lean meal replacement shake, contains 16 grams of protein. Guys, not just that. We're talking about an antioxidant blend, a digestive blend. We're talking about an anti-inflammatory blend. We're talking about a product that gives you all your vitamins and minerals through the vegetables and, of course, the fruits that it contains. There are 5 flavors, and here you can always request the flavor of your choice. So if you want to lose weight, what you do, get yourself the tea along with at least 2 of those weight loss products and the meal replacement shake, and replace that with 2 of your meals daily. Trust me, in no time, you get to your weight goal. If you want to bulk up like me, get this and eat your regular meals and you should be okay. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we also have a coffee and tea line. Why are we talking about this? Because we know that this is actually one of the greatest social habits that inundates the world. Coffee, they say approximately 2.25 billion cups are consumed on a daily basis. People also love teas of coffee, being the third most consumed beverage on a daily basis, tea being second, right? We have for you green tea and black tea. No, this is not a Telebina detox tea now. This is tea that you drink in the morning, to keep the stomach warm, right? Here, this tea will help to improve the overall quality of your heart. These are caffeine-free stuff, right? Now, our coffee line, yes, is infused with 100% organic reishi. And when reishi interacts with caffeine, you know what happens? There's only one winner, and that is reishi. So our coffee line, caffeine there is significantly reduced to the point where it's almost non-existent. So you talk about a coffee line that is literally decaf. No, we have a variety, as you can see on the screen. We have the black skull that helps you to lose weight as well, right? And then we have the Tonkat Ali. Ladies and gentlemen, particularly our men, you heard about the Mars and the great work that it does in terms of protecting the prostate, in terms of giving you that alternative to the V and the C and all those negative things that they sell in the pharmacy. Let me tell you something. If you think the Mars is good in that regard, check the Tonkat Ali coffee. The Tonkat Ali coffee, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the fastest selling products right now in Villa Divina. Why? Because the Tonkat Ali plant itself is said to increase testosterone levels. With increased testosterone levels, you're looking at some added benefits. You're talking about increased muscle strength. You're talking about increased desire for intimacy. And when I say increased desire for intimacy, I'm not talking a dibby increase. I'm talking about a significant increase. If you want to be the bull in your bedroom, man, you must get yourself a Mars. And of course, a Tonkat Ali. If you're not a coffee person, stick to the Mars. If you're a coffee person, you can manage both of them. Hey, let me tell you something. You will be the bull, buck, and duppy conqueror once more in your bedroom. Yes, men on this call will be sharing their testimonies later. Not just that, but there's going to be a significant increase in the sperm count as well. So if you are that guy that is currently infertile, no little Johnny, no little Mary, then this could be the turnaround that you need. It also reduces the risk of erectile dysfunction. So we spoke about that earlier, where ED is prominent among men and that type of thing. This is the answer to your prayer. It decreases fatigue, decreases stress. Why are the ladies excited about Tonkat Ali? They are excited because, according to survey done within the Villa Divina family, women are buying the Tonkat Ali more than men. When you ask them why, they say, listen, the man that I have at home usually is flaccid, usually is weak. But since I put him on the Tonkat Ali, the apparatus has gained strength. It's like a Guinness bottle. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking old wife fables. I'm not making up no stories to the females there telling you that it works. The females are, look here, ladies, if you are here on the call and you know that the Tonkat Ali is the boss for the men in your lives or your customers, drop the number 7 in the chat. Drop the number 7 in the chat right now. Fire up the chat, because you know what I'm saying. It goes just like that. That's what the ladies have been saying, gentlemen. So you have to get yourself a box of the Tonkat Ali. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you this evening for taking the time out of your busy schedules to listen to me, interact with you in this forum, talking about all of these products, that are designed to meet the challenges that men are faced with today. If you're that man here today and prostate cancer is kind of like, looming, you want to get yourself some teas, you want to get yourself a shaga, you want to get yourself a reishi, and you also want to get yourself a Mars. That's a combination. If you are that guy who is overweight, you want to get some teas, you want to get an HCG, you want to get a Life or the Atom. Yes, and of course, the protein shake. That's a combination. If you are that person who is diabetic, get yourself some tea, get yourself some reishi. That's a combination. If you are hypotensive, get yourself some teas, get yourself some shaga or the reishi. That's a combination, right? If you are that guy that is on this forum this evening, that the brain, you realize that you're forgetting things, you realize that your memory is fading, you're realizing that you're talking to yourself when you shouldn't be talking to yourself. Get yourself a lion's mane, get yourself some teas, and of course the brain capsule. It will help you significantly. And again, if you are that man that you're struggling in the bedroom, you're not the boss anymore, get yourself some teas. Having gotten your teas, get yourself a Mars or the Tomcat Alley or the three together. Trust me, your life will never ever be the same again. Now, at this point in time, I would love to invite a few men who are on this call right now to share their testimonies. One of the first gentlemen that I would like to call is one of our bishops here in Jamaica, right? His name is Valmore Dawkins, and he has a very interesting testimony. A testimony, not the one I shared earlier, but this is his own testimony as to how the products have helped him. Sir Dawkins, Bishop Dawkins.
Oh, thank you very much, Chris. Yes, I'm really here and I'm enjoying your program. Presentation has always been top of the line. I am very happy to be on tonight. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As Christopher just said a while ago, my name is Valmore Dawkins, and I'm very proud to be a part of Vida Divina. Is one of the most powerful company that I've ever been a part of. Now, my main reason for being so trapped with this company because of the product. I have problem with my prostate, and of course I spoke to Sir Christopher about it, and he introduced to me the Mars and the tea. And I must say to you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very, very happy to know that I'm seeing tremendous results. As a matter of fact, I went to the doctor, and the doctor sent me to do a PSA. When the result came back to him, he said I need to go to the urologist to do another check on the prostate. When the urologist spoke to me, he said I need to do a biopsy of the prostate. Well, honestly, when he told me the price, I was really frightened. It's over $90,000, and honestly, I didn't have that money. However, I decided to do as Sir Christopher told me to take the product, and I started taking it, and within 30 days, I recognized that things that I could not do, when I had the problem with the prostate, before I actually found out that I'm having these difficulties, I found out that I'm doing it. And I'm saying to myself, this thing is working. And ever since that day, I am so happy because I am not out of my Mars. And of course, the tea is my everyday intake. And I'm very proud of it. Then I started to use the Tomcat Alley, and my friend, my brother, my sisters, I must confess to you, I am over elated to know that this Tomcat Alley is so good. I will not say much because, of course, I'm sure you need to try. It is very, very good. And overall, the product from Vida Divina is one of the most powerful products that I've ever came across. Chris, I want to thank you for introducing to me this most powerful company, and I'm very happy to be on tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, get on board. If you have not yet started, I believe this is a time for you to get a change in your life. God bless you, Chris, and good night, everybody.
Thank you very much, Bishop Dawkins. Really appreciate that. A very, very honest testimony of how these products are helping you to live your best life. Ladies and gentlemen, our host, Mr. Clinton Daly, is a man who is a Jamaican who is currently residing over there in Brooklyn, New York. Mr. Daly, are you still with us, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm still with you, sir.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You are doing a great job as the host, but I'd also like for you to share with these men your own testimony as to how these products would have revolutionized your life.
Definitely. And I am so happy that I came across it because I was struggling with overweight. I was diagnosed as being pre-diabetic. My A1C was at 6.3. I wasn't too physical because even exercise was a challenge, right? But after I started taking the detox tea, I bought my 6-pack, and after 2 weeks, I lost 10 pounds. After 2 weeks of drinking the tea, I lost 10 pounds. After 30 days, 3 months, I lost almost 30 pounds. My A1C fell from 6.3 to 5.9. Presently, I'm able to walk like over 4 miles in the morning in 50-something minutes. I'm feeling so much better. The product, I don't go without it. I drink my tea every day. I take my in fact, you'll be surprised to see what is on my dinner table. I have 5 bottles because I have the brain, I have the Mars, I have the sight, right? I drink the coffee, right? So I have replaced all my regular supplements, right, with Vita products because of the benefits. I feel much better. I think more clearer. I can go days after days without being exhausted. And guess what? It's all natural products that I'm consuming. So I don't have to worry about the side effects or the things that might go wrong because of the ingredients that can cause other problems. Right?
Wow,
I am very happy about this product.
Sir Clinton, man, I am super excited to hear your testimony. Being pre-diabetic, such a high, propensity for, type 2 diabetes rather. And with you using these products, first and foremost, you would have lost the weight. Having lost the weight, you are now in a position where the things that you weren't doing before, you are now able to do them. I'm elated for you, Sir Clinton. I see also on the line, Sir Clinton, we have Mr. Donovan Pugh. Mr. Donovan Pugh I see Mr. Pugh indicating that he wants to share his testimony. Mr. Pugh, there are men right now that are here and they want to know, why is it that you love the Mars and the Tomcat Alice so much? Please, sir, go ahead and tell us about it.
Am I being heard?
Loud and clear.
Listen, the two together is a wonderful collaboration. Prevent better than cure, brethren. You've heard testimonies of persons that have had problems, but catch the thing early. You understand? It running in my family. So I have my eye on it. And I say, I don't want to be like grandfather and daddy. You understand? So I'm living a healthy lifestyle on purpose. And being exposed to Vita Divina, the products them is something that I use. Must let's sell them. And it's a wonderful collaboration because they work well. And Christopher Lyon told you earlier, it gives you an appetite. You understand? My wife have to run me. I tell you literally. You understand? And I'm mature. You understand? I'm looking at 60 next year. And 60 can come. I have 61. I'll be loving her till I'm 70. You understand? With the help of these products and the healthy lifestyle, it just works proper. Works, you cleanse your body and your system with the Tedavina. Clean out the plaque. Clean out, keep all those things in check. Keep the free radicals in check. No cancer, may I say. Thanks for listening to me. If you haven't tried it, try it. Okay, I endorse it 200%. Anybody who use it knows what I'm talking about. Give thanks, Christopher. I love you,
brother. Thank you so much, Donovan Pugh. Oh my goodness, the man say he was 60, but he was still the boss. where he ought to be the boss. Drop some fire emojis in the chat for these gentlemen who are brave enough and committed in sharing their testimonies. Ladies and gentlemen, you would have heard the presentation. You know this evening that there's a male in your life that could benefit from these products. You know that there is someone out there right now that is depending on you to get back to them to say, listen, I heard something this evening that you need to know about. May I invite you at this time, for those of you who were invited by somebody, to get back to the person who invited you. Let those people know that you want the products ASAP. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now, because prevention is better than cure. And as Mr. Pugh also said, if you catch the thing early, it makes sense to deal with it now than to wait until later. So get back to that person and let them know that you are ready right now for your products. Ladies and gentlemen, it was indeed our pleasure to share with you again in this another men's health seminar. We know as men that our health is our responsibility. And the scripture says, look, the herbs are the healing of the nation. So get back to those persons who would have invited you and let them know that you are ready now to get started on these products. Ladies and gentlemen, it was indeed our pleasure. Clinton and I are really happy to have had you. God bless you. Have yourselves a fantastic evening, and for sure, join us next week when we discuss women's health.